Yo. You already know what time it is. Hey, yo, Panthers, y'all not gonna outwork me. They just dropped a press conference with get bitches. So, about to hop in that and get up.
I'll try to give you a good question for an opening statement here then. Um, hey, Dave, how are you?
Good. How are you? Players
Oh shit.
emerge. You've got fun.
I'll try to give you a good question for an opening statement here then. Um, hey, Dave, how are you?
Good. How are you, Cass?
Good. You talked about 2 years ago, like the primetime games being kind of a sign of what the rest of the league thought of the Panthers. Obviously, had one last year, three this year. Just from your perspective, what does that kind of say about the national narrative or understanding of where the Panthers are?
Bryce is the
For
face of
me,
the
it's
league.
just
Anything
about
you notice?
opportunity and improving our football. Guys playing with that energy. We're a fun team to watch. Last year, a couple of games that no one really gave us a shot at. We're able to play competitive football and win some of those. And there were also games that got away from us. But the overall general improvement from our group, watching our players emerge and really step into their own and really
Facts.
bring that
Everybody
type
got hurt
of
from last year.
environment, and especially just being around town and just hearing the outpouring from our fan base here, and just how excited they are for the season. So there's a building excitement for me as the head coach. I just get excited about the primetime games because, as we all know, as you get playoff opportunities, these are night games. Sometimes they're just standalone, games, and the way that they stagger them, it helps us to be able to practice and be able to play in different environments, play at
What
night
you
on
worried about?
primetime games in
Right,
odd
right,
windows, and
right.
sometimes it's a Saturday game or a Sunday, and all that just prepares you for the postseason and for those opportunities. So I'm excited to have that and play some excellent teams that we respect.
That's real shit. Because, like I've been saying, bro, Bryce is the face of the league. Let me get him up. Let me take a screenshot of his face. Hold on, because that's another one of his faces. Um, Bryce the face of the league, and while being the face of the league, when you win, they want to see you more. So that's why we got 3 games, and I think it's like 6 teams that have no games in prime time. Hey man, it's okay. It's okay. One day you guys will be up to Bryce's level, but Bryce is here now. He's here now.
And then just one more from me. Last year, this team had one of the latest possible buys in the NFL. This year, I think it's the
The
earliest.
earliest.
What are kind of the differences in how you shape your preparation and season when you
Hey, schedule makers, y'all ain't have to do us like that either. Like, y'all ain't have to realize that y'all gave us a late buy and then correct that by swinging the pendulum the complete opposite way. I mean, what I'm saying we gonna take it because it is what it is. But week 5 is crazy.
got a week 5 buy?
Yeah, the early bye week for us, looking at it from a positive lens, it's after you get a couple of games under your belt and you start to see the things that you were practicing and hoping to emerge coming out of training camp, the emphasis, and all your different phases. You have a quick snapshot, 4 games, to be able to collect reliable data to say, is this something that's actually good for us, or is this something that we may need to back off on a little bit, or something else may pop up, which always does, schematically, offense, defense, and special teams, things that aren't as good as you thought, things that are better than you thought. How can we then, pivot to try to make those more of a focal point and a feature of what we're doing? So that's how we kind of take advantage of that. The other way too is just, I know sometimes we'll go into the season, and while you hope no one gets hurt during the training camp during preseason, sometimes there are injuries that happen, and having an early bye week kind of gives you an extra week to get somebody back. If someone ends up on PUP or something, it gives you a window to be able to get them out there, move them around, before you launch into the meat and potatoes of the season.
That's the best
Dave,
way to do it. Yeah.
when you
I
think
don't
about
know. I
how
ain't gonna
how
lie.
narrow the margins were at the end of last season, and you see 4 to 5 games, four of your last 5 at home, what sort of advantage is that, and how aware were you of that as soon as the schedule came out?
Yeah, that was something I saw right away and was very appreciative of that going into the finish of the season, being able to be at home in front of our
Yep.
crowd and at Bank of America Stadium, the energy that was building towards the end of last season. It just excites me to be able to see that, through the holiday season, and in that time, you have an opportunity to be at home and finish on your own terms, on your own turf. So that was a pretty exciting thing for me. And then also just being able to have the first game be at home. It's been a couple of years, but to right off the bat get in front of our fan base and really pick up where we left off in terms of where they were showing up with such great energy, coming out early, being out there during warm-ups, and welcoming the players that came out group by group to feel that energy kind of build into the game. And the guys will be really excited to get that started the right way.
Thank you.
Mike Kay, followed by Alex Zitlow.
Hey, Dave, thanks for doing this. Turk recently underwent a neck surgery. Can you fill us in on what went into the decision to do that, how this all kind of played out from your perspective?
Yeah, I'm going to keep it pretty vague. Just those are kind of private conversations that we have. But basically, it was about a week and a half ago, just was feeling a little bit of discomfort. And went in and talked to Denny, and Denny was like, well, this is something we should take a look at. And, they found some things that needed to be addressed, from a surgical standpoint. And so it was like, obviously with the timetable of the season and all those things, like this is something that needs to be done now. And he's recovering great, and we'll just take it week by week and see where he's at.
For everybody that's like, I don't want to say blown it out of proportion because it is a neck injury. When I first saw it, my first thought was, I'd rather it happen now. Real talk. Go ahead and get your surgery. It's May. You're going to miss OTAs. You're going to miss mini camp. You're going to miss preseason. But June, July, August, September, that's 4 months to recover for the start of the season. October, November. Like, what's that, 6 months to get us to November? If we can get Turk back mid-season, 100%, give me that weapon. Give me that motherfucking weapon. Add it to the arsenal. Fresh. I'll take it.
And then I don't know if this was a glitch on the website or whatever, but Jim Caldwell is no longer on the staff. Could you elaborate what the outlook is there, and maybe if you're going to fill that position?
Yeah, first of all, it just gives me an opportunity to talk about what an amazing support Jim was, Coach Caldwell, for.
I know they ain't fired my dog. He had to leave on his own on the court. He left on his own accord. He ain't get fired. Not Jim. Not Big Jim. Not the OG. Oh no.
Those first 2 years, having been a head coach, having been around coaches who I really respect, and just remembering all the little things, building a training camp and the ebb and flow of the practices and duration, and how to challenge guys mid-season in different spots, and with just all the things that as a first-time head coach, while I had been with Pete for 14 years, it was just so good to be able to have somebody that I could call at any point who was fully invested in what we were doing, to help me address the team, add things to our practices that might help different things that we needed improvement on, just really practical wisdom, different ways, and someone who I really grew to trust, and really just had an amazing time. At the end of this past season, I had opportunity to bring in Carl Smith, coach that's we affectionately call Tater, and he's one of my primary football mentors, somebody who brings years of experience, was a sounding board for Pete for a lot of those years while we were in Seattle, and a guy that I really trust, who really raised me in the coaching profession in terms of game clock management, training the quarterback, just offensive philosophy and different things that we've talked about over the years. This was an opportunity for him to fill in the role in a similar capacity where he'll be working remotely, but he'll be here for camps. He'll be here for mini camp. He'll pop in during training camp. But it really is an opportunity to have somebody who's not in the building every day, who's watching the same film we are, but also being able to evaluate our roster and talk about players that we may not be talking about in our meetings. And then, of course, when we get into the season, it'll be a more regular correspondence in terms of looking at the last game, different decisions that were made in ways that we can improve. So I'm excited for that opportunity. Again, super grateful for Coach Caldwell and all he's meant to me over the last 2 years.
Thank you.
Get bitches, you fired. Yeah, that's why you're making that face. You know about the boy. You know, get bitches, you fired Jim Caldwell and replaced him with another Jim Caldwell that's not Jim Caldwell, and this motherfucking version of Jim Caldwell is not going to be around that motherfucking team. He going to be on Skype trying to tell you what to do with the team. He can't feel the post. He can't feel the energy. He don't know the vibe. He don't know. Get bitches. What the fuck? Oh, my God, get bitches. That might be the worst decision you done made, get bitches. That might be the worst decision you done made, get bitches. I don't know why the fuck you would do that. I don't know why the fuck you would do that, get bitches. Why the fuck would you fire? Why? Why fire Jim Caldwell and then hire another nigga to be Jim Caldwell that's not Jim Caldwell? I don't fucking understand, bro. I don't understand, get bitches. You gonna have to call me. You gotta explain this to me, get bitch. I need you to call me, GB. I need you to call me and explain to me why the fuck you fired Jim Caldwell just to hire another motherfucking remote younger Jim Caldwell that don't know half the shit that Jim Caldwell know, and it ain't gonna be around in the building that don't understand what the fuck going on. He gonna tell you to goddamn do some shit, and it don't make sense because he can't feel the energy, bro. You need an OG there that can feel the energy and has felt the energy before it can help you guide through it, not no nigga that gonna goddamn Skype in and tell you what the... got me pissed off. You got me pissed off, bro.
Hey, Dave. Thanks for taking the time.
Hey, Alex.
Hey, man. So it was reported last week that y'all will have 2 joint practices during the preseason. With the Jacksonville Jaguars and the Houston Texans. What are the advantages to having a joint practice, particularly with those 2 franchises?
It's been a great experience for me. We never did that in Seattle. But when I got to
Liam cooked your motherfucking boots in the first game. Now you're trying to figure out how you can beat this nigga. I understand the play.
Tampa, that was my first experience with the joint practice. We went up to the New York Jets and practiced with Robert Saleh and had a great day. Really focused on one big practice and then our normal walkthrough separately the day afterwards. But it's a controlled environment, and we're able to get high intensity work, and we're able to manufacture different situations. With the preseason games, they're extremely valuable. Obviously, they're out there. The players are out there playing games, but you don't always get all the situations. You know, you may go through a preseason and not get any goal line work. You know, where you can work some goal line in a controlled setting with that type of understanding, and really get to evaluate your team that way. And then, of course, with just the limited amount of exposure for your starters in the preseason, you're maximizing their full speed reps against another opponent. The other part of it too is you end up seeing the same scheme practicing against yourself over and over. When you get into these joint practices, there's a strategy to the schemes that you're playing against, and where we're a 3-4 base defense, and we do have our nickel 4 down stuff, but to see a 4 down base system with the wide 9 playing up the field, the penetrating defensive fronts versus the 2 gap read types of techniques, all those things are different, and the blocks hit differently. And so these are just great opportunities for us, again, for the conditioning, for the readiness for the season, but then also just some of the different schematic work that you can get, and then manufacturing situations in as controlled of a setting as you can have with the coaches. And because D'Amico and I have a lot of comfortability with each other, practicing against each other, it was a fantastic physical practice in the heat in Houston last year, and we hope to bring them in here and show them the same hospitality they did for us.
We have time for a couple more. We'll go with Joe Person, followed by Jeff Hawkins.
Hey, Dave. Good to see you.
Hey, Joe.
Hey, you said this, but just to be clear, you all did not know about Turk's neck deal before drafting Lee Hunter.
We did not. That's correct.
How beneficial now in hindsight was that selection of Lee?
Well, it's very important now, just depending on what the timeline looks like, and I don't have specific dates right now with all that, but to get big young bodies into the program is always a good thing. With Monroe, and then with Lee, right off the bat with the first 2 picks, quality players who we expect to be in the mix to compete, to help our team. And it was just, philosophically speaking, it's like best available, absolutely. And then when these big physical, violent players come along, it's we were really excited to be able to add those guys, and
Yeah, the
now
Frizz
in a
gonna be that
different
nigga.
way.
You stop talking now. Get
Lee, Cam
Get that talking,
Jackson,
bro.
these guys that we've brought into our program are
You
going to
saying a
really
lot
need
of
to,
words right now,
step up for the guys in different roles.
And then have any other injury or surgery situations popped up since we've last talked to you?
No.
Not right now, no.
And then lastly from me, just kind of wonder if you would give us an overview of looking at this schedule, from 10,000 feet and where your program is as you start year 3.
Absolutely. First, the structure of it, really appreciative for being able to get that home game right off the bat, starting the season. We're all very excited about that. The primetime games, championship moments, truly championship opportunities against great opponents. We got to have that. It brings out the best in us. It calls upon our best on a weekly basis. We're not looking past any games. Certainly, these are, as I, of course, take the philosophy of every game is a championship opportunity. I try not to pass judgment on what the schedule is going to look like because we don't know. You get in 4-6 games and teams look different every year. And so while you may try to make an assumption about what a team may be or not, you just really can't. You really just have to respect each opponent and take the most recent information we have. But certainly having, finishing the season at home, the last game at home is exciting, but also 4 out of those 5 to be able to play at home is big for us to be able to build that momentum with our fan base and finish well. So really appreciative of those things, and to get a little variety with a Thursday night, a Monday night, a Sunday night to break us out of the 1 o'clock kick, and where, just it allows us to have to adjust and have to, the team to see, look, this week's going to look a little different. That's a part of it. That's a part of the championship mindset is, can we find good quality work with a shorter week or a longer week? So I'm excited for those opportunities. I always look for the newness as a way to challenge us and come together to find solutions.
Fucking fire, Jim
Jeff?
Caldwell.
Thanks. Hey, thanks, Dave, for
Jeff.
taking the time. Hey, just looking at following up on the schedule, the Panthers are travel the fewest air miles in the league, nearly 30,000 fewer than the 49ers. What kind of advantage is that for the overall health of the team?
Yeah, recovery, minimizing the time you're spending on planes. Flying does do a little bit of something to your body. It's been something that we've had to find ways to recover in that process, and wearing compression sleeves and doing recovery in the hotels. And it certainly can be an advantage to be able to get a little bit back into the tank, get to your hotel sooner, settle in, go through your meetings, go through your body care and prep that happens day before a game. So it's something that we're certainly appreciative of. And of course, being in Charlotte, we're kind of central to the Northeast, the South, the East Coast, the Midwest. Everything just kind of feels within range that these are shorter trips. So we'll try to take full advantage of that. And I'm sure the guys will appreciate that, being able to, get up and down and get right back to our recovery and our prep.
And from a personal side, how important is getting a Week 17 rematch at home against the Seahawks?
Very interesting, right? Just the same exact week, same time of year, bringing them back out here to Charlotte. We can't wait for those opportunities. Another great team, another championship opportunity that'll bring out the best in us. And I love that. I love being able to finish the end of the season with an outside division opponent, a conference opponent. That is obviously the Super Bowl champions and highly regarded and respected. But we got a lot of football to play until that game. And so we'll see where we're at going into that one. And that goes for both teams, but it was very exciting to see that.
Hey, good luck this year.
All right. Thank you.
Any more questions for Coach?
That's the last one.
All right, Coach. Thank you so much for taking the time.
All right. Thanks, everybody.
Hey, GB, you a fucking hoe for firing Jim Caldwell. Flat out. I'm just letting you know. That was some hoe nigga shit for firing Jim Caldwell and replacing him with a motherfucking not Jim Caldwell. Like, I don't understand. That shit made me mad. But it's, man, listen. Jim Caldwell, bro, you my dog, bro. You my dog. You gonna find work, bro. You gonna find work unless you don't want to find work. And if you retired, then you retired, and then I take all that back. But I think GB fired Jim Caldwell, bro. And I don't, man, that shit made me mad. Call me, Jim. Call me. Let's chop it up. Let's chop it up. Everybody else, I'll let y'all know what me and Jim talk about. You know, actually I won't, because I'm gonna keep that between us. That's some real some OG shit. You know what I'm saying? Everybody else, I'll holler at y'all next time. Peace.